McBride here with your Property Masters McBride Realty Group and 5 minutes of free time. Just wanted to talk about a guy I saw on TV today on CNBC this morning named Bill Snead. He's going over various stocks, but he started talking about Lennar Homes, and then that led to a discussion of the housing market, which I was very interested in. It was some interesting stuff. His biggest quote, the main quote, and what he based his reasoning basically for buying Lennar stock, not that I'm endorsing any stock, we're not in that business, was the last time, here's his quote, the last time there were so few homes for sale across the country is when people crossed the Oregon Trail. Think about that. Back then all they had was wagons, horses, and pitch a tent next to the creek, and there were no houses. So what he's essentially saying is there's a major housing shortage in the country. A while back, about a couple weeks ago, we said we're creating 1.6 million new households in the country, but we're only building 1.2 million houses per year. He also went on to say that this is a 10-year thing, which is kind of ironic because that's what we've been saying for quite a while. So it's always good when you hear from someone else the same thing, kind of like when you bring a coach in to help team coach, and he comes in and says, maybe a professional baseball player, and he comes in and says the exact same thing that you've been saying to the kids for years. It emphasizes and gives you confidence in your position. So first of all, that was the Twitter quote. This is a national problem. This is not local to Florida. But like most things in the state of Florida, problems are exaggerated. So when we crashed harder than the rest of the country. When we go up harder than the country. So any problems that exist in the rest of the country also are reflected in Florida, basically doubled any type of national issues. Right now, there's absolutely a shortage of home for sales. The biggest economic need in the country is home ownership. Think about that for a second. That's another thing he said. The biggest economic need in the country is home ownership. Everyone's saying that everybody's renting. Well, that's true. Well, they can afford $1,500 to $2,000 rent. They're paying $2,000 to $2,500 in rent. They certainly can afford a $1,500 to $2,000 mortgage. So and this is what he said: the idea that people can't afford it is, in quotes, outlandishly wrong. So he's just saying that people can absolutely afford it. He's saying there's no doubt that as we move forward, credit standards are going to be reduced. There is a ton of money just in banks and big banks that they can't lend because of the regulation, and those regulations will be reduced, freeing that money up, and will go into mortgages as well as many other things. Big banks right now have a smaller percentage of, according to this guy, big banks have a smaller percentage of the mortgage business than ever before. Think about that. The institutions with the most money have the least money invested in the mortgage business. So as those regulations are reduced, and as they can lend to more people, and as they can free up their standards, inevitably more people are going to be able to afford houses. And that's going to obviously keep the market going strong. The Federal Reserve household debt ratio, this is a ratio of average household debt per home, is at a 36-year low. That takes us back to 1980. I don't know how many of you were alive in 1980, but in 1980, there was not a lot going on in the real estate market. Then all of a sudden, regulations were reduced, Reagan came into office, and all of a sudden, the real estate market shot through the roof. So, all signs point to the real estate market continuing up in price, people being able to afford it, and people flipping their houses becoming not upside down anymore and being able to sell. So, people have a ton of credit available to them. Housing is a great place to be in the next 10 years. So if you're an investor, give us a call. You need to buy as much as you can and get in front of it. If you're renting, you need to buy right now, because 10 years from now, you'll have a ton of equity to do whatever you want with. And it's the same thing we've been saying. America is moving towards Main Street. It's time to get into the real estate market. If you want to sell your property today, give us a call or text 386-866-1007. Now is the time to list your property and upsize or downsize. There is a market out there for it. We will get you top dollar. Again, 386-866-1007.